Mali PM and Foreign Minister have said that they've seen French troops resupplying the terrorist groups. They've said this in the UN. Now, we weren't there, but this is what the leadership of those countries have said.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Ibrahim Traoré has also given similar testimonies about his time as a fighter before he became president, of what he's seen.
Yes.
Yeah. He talks about the military equipment that some of these groups had, which is impossible to get in the Sahel, which is, a very dry, deserted part of the continent. Yeah. But someone's backing them. That's what we do know. So who else would be backing them? Who else has an interest to back Tuareg separatists and an Al-Qaeda affiliate? We don't know. Of course, we don't know who's doing it for certain. But there's definitely circumstantial evidence that's pointing in one direction.
Peace and blessings, everybody. I am your brother Orina Oigo, all the way from the motherland, all the way from Kenya, Nairobi, nation's capital. Welcome to Sell Africa to Africans, the home of Pan-Africanism. Well, today, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title. He's a friend of the show. He's my brother, he's my friend. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Sudan, BATUK. You guys have seen the BATUK episode he did on Sovereign Media. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. The war, Sahel, what's going on in UK with Jamaicans and Africans, the relationships there. It's when me and Ahmed come together, it's a classic episode. So please welcome my brother, my friend, Ahmed Kaballo. Ahmed, how you doing?
Nice to be here again.
You're a friend of the show. You know what I call my fans? I call them the sales team, because it's Sell Africa to Africans. Yeah. So you're a big part of the Sell Africa to African sales team. How you doing? How's life?
Good, man. Good. I can't complain. Things are well. I was a bit ill recently, but I got over it. Alhamdulillah, everything's good.
That's good. Wow, you've been doing a lot of stuff, but we'll get to the BATUK and everything. Let's talk about what's going on in the UK first before we go to major topics, right? Jamaicans and Africans. Now, you've lived in the UK for almost all your life. Is there a misunderstanding, or is it actually true that there is some sort of identity crisis when it comes to Jamaicans not accepting their Africanity? Is there some beef between Jamaicans and Africans? Because I heard Gina on 154 Godfrey podcast talking about it. What do you think about that? Because you are the best person to talk about this, because you've spent all your life in UK. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's revisit her comments. So she was talking about her experience. I think Gina's in her 50s. So she was talking about her experience as a child, which might not reflect the sentiment on the ground today in 2026. And she sparked a conversation. Yeah. And sometimes in order to spark a conversation, you kind of have to push some buttons. But in pushing some buttons, she offended a lot of people. And obviously, as Pan-Africanist, our mission, our goal is the unification of people of African descent all over the world, in the diaspora and in the continent. So there's just one thing she said which was a little bit, I understood what she was saying, but to me it was a little bit divisive and offensive when she goes, Jamaicans didn't know they came from Africa until they watched Roots. Yeah? So all she had to do was talk about Jamaicans from my school didn't know until, and then no one could really argue with her because that's her experience. But when you brandish a whole community who have done so much to advance the causes of Pan-Africanism.
Marcus Garvey, man.
Yeah, my journey to Pan-Africanism came via the Caribbean community, just to be clear. Yeah. The first Pan-Africanist group I was involved in was the Manchester Reparations Forum. I was invited by my sister, who's still my good friend today, Colette Williams, a Jamaican woman. Do you want to come to this forum what we're having? Yeah. And the Manchester Reparations Forum was based on CARICOM's 10-point reparations program.
Okay.
CARICOM is the English-speaking countries from the
Caribbean.
exactly, yeah. And then when I moved to London, my mentor, elder, someone who I have huge respect for today, Amawale Rupert, is from Grenada. Yeah. So up and down the UK, there's Pan-African schools that run on a Saturday that are opened and ran and staffed by people from the Caribbean, primarily from Jamaica. Yeah. The most seminal piece to advance Pan-Africanism intellectually was Walter Rodney.
Yes.
How Europe underdeveloped Africa. Walter Rodney's from Guyana. Yeah. So, and we've got C.L.R. James, who's from Trinidad.
George Padmore.
Yeah, so when we talk, we just got to talk with respect. That's what we can have this conversation because it's an important conversation to have, but just have it respectfully. Yeah. Because there's no point antagonizing a group that, like I said, has done so much to advance the Pan-African struggle. You mentioned Marcus Garvey. Beyond Marcus Garvey, I've traveled to so many African countries. What is the theme music for Pan-Africanism? If you used to categorize it by genre, what genre would you say is the theme music?
Reggae. And reggae is my best. She knows.
Exactly.
Reggae is my number one.
And reggae comes from?
Jamaica.
Exactly. We had Bob Marley, who gave us Africa Unite.
Yes.
He made a song called Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
To celebrate Zimbabwe independence from the racist white settler colonial rule.
And he performed in the 1980 Independence Day of Zimbabwe.
For free?
For free.
For free. And got tear gassed. And all of his backup singers ran off the stage and he's there. Still performing.
He was there.
Performing for free. So it's like, I understood, what our sister was trying to say. And she's a brilliant, brilliant sister. The podcast was brilliant. She's hilarious. I love, whenever she's like on stand-up, I love to watch her.
Yeah.
I would just advise, whenever we have this conversation, let's just do it with respect. Now, that being said, now let's have the conversation. Yeah? Because she said that they didn't know they were from Africa. I would say, from my experience, I'm just talking about from my experience, because when I was in school, everything that she said is true. I was called African booty scratcher.
Really?
Go back to your bush.
By white people or by
black
people?
No. But by black people, yeah? Go back to your bush. Is your house made of brick or mud? All of that stuff. There was a big thing when I was growing up because of the Somali civil war. And obviously I'm Sudanese, but I look Somali. So they used to call me Somali pirate. What else? There was a few times when I kept saying, I'm from Sudan, I'm from Sudan, I'm from Sudan. When I was growing up, Sudan came into the news, I think 4 or 5 times. Yeah? The first time was the Guinness World Record. The man with the longest nails was from Sudan.
Okay.
Another time, this is when Sudan was a unified country. South Sudan was with the North at the time. There was a man who's from South Sudan, but, he was part of Sudan. And it made the newspapers because, excuse my language, he had sex with a goat. And then the tribe, because they were devout Christians, made him marry the goat. Yeah? That was the story. That was the story. So you could imagine being a kid. Being a kid, people saying, when we used to go to school trips to farms, people say, keep Ahmed away from the goats. All that type of stuff.
Did it affect you as a kid?
It did, but it's a good question because right now, everyone wants to talk about trauma, this, trauma, that, trauma, this. I think it's a journey. Not everything is traumatic. It's a learning experience. Yeah? All of these things contributed to me setting up African Stream. Contributed to me determined to show Africa in a different light. So we can't, I think sometimes people dwell on their past in this negative way. Everything that happened in the past is where we are today. Yeah? So not everything is traumatic. For some people, it might have been traumatic. To me, I don't see it as traumatic. I see it as part of the journey. And I embrace that journey. And sorry, the final thing that came up about Sudan. there was a British school teacher in Sudan in the late 90s, I believe it was. She didn't know anything about the country, the religion, religious customs. And she brought in a teddy bear, and she said, what should we call the teddy bear? And she goes, let's call it Muhammad. And obviously there was huge protests. Yeah. So what wasn't talked about Sudan was the Kingdom of Kush, was King Tahaka, was the irrigation systems that influenced the Greek and the Romans, the pyramids, more pyramids than there are in Egypt. Yeah. The 1,000 years in which the Kushitic kingdom ruled over Egypt, the advancements in civilization, none of that. So this is what I'll bring it back to the conversation. When we talk about what Jamaicans or Caribbeans used to say to us, we're dealing with the symptom, not the cause. The cause is colonialism, is imperialism. It's the human trafficking and enslavement of African people.
Yes.
It's the way that to enslave people, you had to invent a lie about them, race, which is racism. And that racism is a legacy we still live with today. Yeah?
We inherited that.
So just, so she said, people didn't know they were African. And I thought about this. And there was a time when I was just left school. I was in a youth club. We were going to a football tournament. Yeah? And there was a couple of guys from Jamaica. And they're making their little jokes, African this, African. And a few years before that, I'd kind of just put my head down, pretend like I weren't hearing what they said. But I kind of read a bit by this point, started to have a bit of knowledge of self and who I was. And so I said to them, where are you from? The guy goes to me, I'm British. I said, it's impossible. It's impossible, you're black. Yeah? This is what I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I goes, it's impossible. He goes, well, my family comes from Jamaica. I go, how did they get to Jamaica? Yeah? He goes, what do you mean they were born in Jamaica? I go, how did they get to Jamaica? Yeah? They came from Africa. Well, me and you are the same, whether you like it or not. You want to call me a booty scratcher? Then we're both booty scratchers. Yeah? What was interesting about that story is that guy, I'm not going to say his name because I'm still friends with him to this day, and he doesn't talk that way now.
Okay.
I found out later his dad was a hardcore Pan-Africanist. Yeah, his dad and his mom had split up.
Yeah.
But so I say that to say, there's no way he didn't know the history of Africans in Jamaica. So what it really was not ignorance, was rejection.
Okay.
Yeah? So I think where she might have missed the point is when she said they didn't know who they were. No, they rejected who they were. And why did they reject who they were? Because we're living in a white supremacist, white majority country where white is right, anything else is wrong. And therefore, it's all a battle of proximity to whiteness. So by saying you're Jamaican, you're saying that we are closer to white people. And I say that to say, when the British recruited the Windrush generation to come, they said, your motherland is the UK, not Africa. Yeah? Come back. Your motherland needs you after the Second World War. So they always try to create a connection between Jamaicans and the white British population in the UK. But circling back to the conversation, the Pan-African movement was advanced the most by the Caribbean.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah? So
definitely.
So, and whenever
even Marcus Garvey on his own is
Marcus Garvey, and in the modern times, people are advancing Pan-Africanism on TVs, on the mainstream. People like Akala.
I like Akala.
Yeah, so it's like we have to give respect.
Yeah.
We have to give respect. Yeah, the Pan-African movement wasn't created in the continent of Africa. It was created in the diaspora. Yeah. The Pan-African Congress that happened in Manchester.
Yes.
Yeah, that was organized by people from the Caribbean.
1945.
Yes, organized by people in the Caribbean. So we have to give respect. We have to give respect. And right now, we've never been more united. So these conversations, it's okay for them to come up. It's okay for that we can have these conversations, but let's do it with respect.
Yeah.
And advance the cause of unity and Pan-Africanism.
I
Because they are us and we are them. They they influence us, we influence them. We are one people. Yeah, we're distant relatives because of the history of separation, but we are one people.
Peace and blessings, everybody. I'm your brother Orina Oigo, founder of Sell Africa to Africans, and today I have a special message to all Africans watching me right now. We have many social media platforms, but very few are African in-made. Well, today I'm here to present to you Urban Talk. Urban Talk is a Kenyan-made social media platform, fully African-made, fully African-funded, and if we have to build Africa, we have to build Africa from Africa. So please go to app.urbantalk.ke, post your long-form content, post your short-form content, and you can as well put a paywall and earn from your content as well. It is a very flexible, creative social media platform. Let's build our own social media platform. Let's make this the biggest African social media platform in future so that we can depend on ourselves. So please, again, go to app.urbantalk.ke and start using Urban Talk. I built my account the other day and I'm starting to post there. So join me as well. Join me as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me tell you, you know how much I love reggae. Gregory Isaacs, Lucky Dube,
Yeah,
Uhuru,
Peter Tosh.
Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer. I'm telling you, I love reggae.
Yes.
And even the new cats like Duane Stevenson, Taras Riley nowadays is doing a bit of dancehall, but when he used to do reggae, I was a fan. Chronics, I love Chronics.
Chronics is amazing.
So I love reggae. Reggae is my number one genre. Then hip hop number two.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
reggae number one.
Yeah,
Reggae
yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
Because you know my uncle is in the UK, been living there for 20 plus years. He told me the same thing, that when you tell a Jamaican that you're African, he'll almost whoop your ass because they don't like that tag. They don't like that identity. No, not all. I don't know if it's most, but it's safe to say some, that they don't like that African identity tag. But it's not, you know what, it's not just a Jamaican thing in the UK. Last year, I had Professor James Small on my show. He denounced this FBA nonsense saying that, yo, I'm an African. Do you know FBAs were flooding my comments
Yeah, of course they did.
and my DMs? And then the FBA content creators, almost all of them made a reaction video to my video. So saying that, what is this? James Small has betrayed us. We how can we be Africans and all this? And I'm like, okay, if you say so. You know what, Ahmed, I've come to a realization that in this struggle, we can't have everybody in this struggle. We can do our best to wake up people, but the ones who don't want to listen, let's just leave them in the slumber. The ones who are ready to wake up, and let's start doing the work. Fine, like even this show is to convert, right? But the ones who really don't want to, no problem. You stay in your slumber. Let's see if you putting that American tag or putting that British tag in front of the African tag, let's see where it will get you.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell these FBAs. That's what I want to tell now the Africans and Africans in the UK who don't identify as Africans. If you think that that's the best way to identify yourself with the oppressor, no problem. Let's see where it will get you.
I don't call them FBAs, I call them FBI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's 100% started by an intelligence agency. 100%. Yeah.
Definitely.
Because when you see a movement getting strong, you have to disentangle it, separate, and this is the perfect way. And you're right, it's not just, some Jamaicans in the UK, people from the Caribbean in the UK, some Africans. When I meet African people in the UK, not always, but it happens more than I would like to, and I go, where you from? And they go, I'm from the UK. I go, my brother, yeah, but where you from?
Yeah.
And then they'll say it again aggressively, I'm from the... So there's like, this happens, and it all comes down to, at the moment, we're not on the winning side. Yeah? So Arsenal just won the Premier League. Yeah? Everywhere in Kenya, I saw Arsenal tops.
Yeah.
Yeah? because Arsenal had won. You know, when Arsenal were finishing 7th, 6th, couldn't get in the Champions League, I didn't see these Arsenal tops. So when Africa rises, and it is beginning to rise, we will see more people proudly identifying as African and with the African cause and the African struggle. We saw, incidentally, one of the biggest Pan-African marches was for Ibrahim Traore.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, in the UK. Most of the people that occupied that march or were part of that march were from the Caribbean. Yeah. So now we have, that's why Ibrahim Traore is so important, as a symbol of African pride, of African progress, of African revolutionary thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before, like even myself, you know, I was really interested in Latin American politics because we didn't have any revolutionary leaders here that I could identify with. Yeah. Well, in Latin America, in Venezuela, we had Hugo Chavez at the UN, calling George W. Bush the devil.
Hugo Chavez was hard, man.
Yeah.
He was hard.
Yeah. We had Fidel Castro, Raul Castro, Evo Morales. So now we finally got 3 leaders of our own. Yeah. 3 leaders of our own that we can identify.
We can identify with as revolutionaries.
As revolutionaries that are, you know, we have other progressive leaders, but not all of them advance Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
They're nationalists.
Yeah.
I won't mention them, but to not offend any other people, but these are 3 revolutionary leaders who are proudly Pan-African that we can identify with. And now we're starting to see, the pride re-emerging in people in the diaspora with Africa.
Yes.
So,
so it's a small group that's outside.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that is that they're so consistent online, you might think that it's all Jamaicans or it's all African Americans who are FBAs.
And then there's bots. And there's bots. Remember, I told you this is linked to intelligence communities. So a lot of it will be bots. A lot of them will be bots. You know what's interesting though? I have a good brother in the UK. His name is Suleiman Lee. He runs Black Charles Promotions, and every weekend he goes out and he distributes empowering literature to people on the street, African literature. Yeah. And there was like an infamous situation where police, think of all the crime that's happened in the UK, all the stabbings, all the drug dealers. They come and try to arrest this guy for selling black books. Yeah. And there was such an uproar from the community. You know, the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam got involved.
You did a story about
I did a story.
I saw the video. I saw it on
the Nation of Islam in the UK got involved. They got him released, and then now he's back selling books in the exact same place. But anyway, he told me his father, who's like a very famous reggae star, he was connected to Bob Marley.
Oh, nice.
But he told me because of his parents were very conscious Africans from Jamaica, they gave him a super African name. So when he used to read it on the register, the kids, even though he's Jamaican, would make fun of him all day long. So it's real, yeah? If you can make fun of a Jamaican for having an African name, then, you know, what do you think is going to happen to the Africans with African names who are from Africa? So it's real. But anyway, unity is our message.
Yeah. Unity is our message.
Yeah.
But I always say, if you still want to identify with the oppressor and not with your motherland, stay there.
I like that.
Stay there. Stay with the oppressor tag. Stay with the oppressor identity. Let's see where it will lead you. You know what? With all these things that are going on, with the rise of conservatism in the Western world, they'll come back. You wait. They'll come back.
Yeah.
They'll come back. You know, the last time we talked about Sudan was 2 interviews ago. We touched on it the last interview, but the deepest we went was 2 interviews ago, and that got a lot of feedback. Trust me, that's one of the best videos. You know what? Personally, that's the best segment I've ever done on the show because you went deep. You went deep. Now, the Sudan war is just getting. I don't know if it's getting worse and worse because we are seeing RSF defectors coming out. But then we're also, and then we're also seeing SAF reclaiming some territories. But then we're also seeing women being used as currency, as ransom. Now, before we go to that, I know you have a really, really hard stance on the people who take the neutrality position in this war. People were saying that RSF is bad, but also SAF is bad because RSF wouldn't be the force that it is now without the SAF. So my question is this, Ahmed. Why are you against the neutrality stance in this war? Do you feel like if you take the neutral stance, you're automatically taking this or indirectly taking the stance of the bad people
Yeah.
of RSF?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Yeah. If you're neutral, you're on the side of the oppressor. Yeah.
Okay.
So America and Israel, unprovoked, attacked Iran. Yeah, completely unprovoked. So if you say I'm neutral, you're inadvertently on the side of America and Israel because you make it seem like both sides have equal accountability and responsibility. When one side attacked the other side, yeah. So the reason why I don't take the both sides narrative in Sudan is this. The conditions under RSF occupation are conditions that nobody that advances the both sides cause would like to live under. Yeah?
Okay.
Women are kept in sex dungeons.
Yes, yes, yes.
Their moms, who are a bit older, are kept in the house to make tea, coffee, food for the torturers of their daughters. Yeah? They're then executed on camera. Yeah? We have the butcher of Al Fasher. He goes up to a woman, he says, how many months are you pregnant? She says 7. He gives her 7 bullets in her belly. On camera. Yeah? We see people being asked what tribe do you belong to. They answer straight away, bullets. On camera, proud of this. Yeah? There is no equivalent videos coming out from the SAF side. Yeah? There are none. Okay. That's number one. Number two, it's okay to talk about the history of the RSF. And within the history of the RSF, you can hold SAF accountable.
Okay.
Because it's undeniable that SAF created the RSF to oppress the people in the peripheries.
Yeah.
But you can give that as historical analysis. In a contemporary analysis, we have to talk about where we are today. The people that advance to both sides are usually people in the diaspora with family have all left Sudan, who don't really have anybody left in Sudan. Yeah? So it's like a bourgeoisie position to take. Yeah?
Okay.
Because it's like a theoretical position, not one that's grounded in reality. Because in reality, majority of people in Sudan, majority of people that still have people living in Sudan are supporting SAF, not because they like SAF, but because they recognize this as an existential crisis for the future of Sudan. Yeah? So how I explained it before, if SAF wins, the war is over. If RSF wins, Sudan is over. Yeah? The country we know as Sudan is no more. Yeah? Because this is a gun-for-hire militia group that is attached to a foreign Gulf state who does imports 90% of its food. Yeah? It's not food sovereign, the UAE.
Yeah.
Yeah? Sudan has the most agricultural land anywhere in Africa.
Wow.
Used to be the biggest producer of food anywhere in Africa. Yeah? We have untapped gold reserves.
Yes.
Where's the biggest hub for gold in the world? Dubai, the UAE.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
Gold smugglers know once you get your gold to the UAE, it's completely washed and it's clean.
They melt it.
They melt it, it's clean, yeah? And nobody knows where it originally came from. And then it can be bought by this Kuwaiti wealth Arab or wealth Arab man for an engagement ring or whatnot. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we have the port of Sudan. The Red Sea is one of the most hotly contested
Yes.
strips of water anywhere in the world.
Yes.
So you've got to ask yourself, sorry, why has this Gulf state taken so much interest in Sudan? Is it because they want to liberate Sudan from the Muslim Brotherhood, which is the narrative that the RSF claim? The RSF claim to be fighting the Islamists. Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
They're interested in the gold, the ports, the agricultural land. Yeah, and where else have they put a lot of emphasis into? Libya. What is Libya today? Libya today is 2 different states, east and west, potentially going to become 3-4 states.
It's a mess.
Yeah. I try to protect the identity by saying this, but someone called me to cover a story of his brother being kept hostage in Libya. He sent me the videos. His brother's being whipped. His brother's hand behind his back getting kicked. Call it Abid, which means slave in Arabic.
Yeah. There's a lot of slavery in Libya.
Yeah. The family are like, we can't pay the ransom. Not because they don't have the money, but because other people that this has happened to in the country where this guy's from, they've paid a ransom and then they've killed them anyway. Yeah? And actually, by paying a ransom, you're actually feeding the trade. Yeah? Supply and demand. You're creating a demand. Yeah. So they've taken this horrendous decision, and it's a more difficult decision than I could ever imagine taking. I'm a father of 2. Yeah? The father of this guy, I was speaking to the brother, the father of this guy has had to take the decision that I can't pay the ransom and feed this horrendous trade.
Okay.
That's Libya. The people that are advancing the both sides argument are trying to, almost like they're trying to create Sudan into Libya. Because what does the RSF want? It wants to capture the whole of Sudan. If not, it wants partition Sudan. Take the Darfur, Kordofan region. The west side. Yeah. And leave SAF with the east and the center. Yeah. Right now, they're put a siege on Al Ubaid in North Kordofan state. Yeah. So they're not going to give up until they get their minimum demand, which is the west side of Sudan, under their control. If we do that, we're going to create the same type of slave-like conditions. Yeah, we've seen all the racist videos that came out of Al-Fashir.
Yes.
That's the future for West Sudan. That's the future for these NGO-adjacent bourgeoisie Sudanese people advancing the both sides argument. Yeah? There are 2 fighting sides happening right now. The SAF versus the RSF. When you're saying both sides, who exactly is meant to defeat the RSF? Who exactly is meant to liberate these sex dungeons? Who exactly is meant to liberate the tribes that are on the verge of extinction because of the genocidal policies of the RSF? Yeah? In a conflict, this is probably not the best example, but it's an example I'll give you at the moment. During the Second World War, there was Winston Churchill versus Adolf Hitler in the UK. Yeah? The British working class had many problems with Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Because he was a elitist, white supremacist. I'm not sure if they had a problem because of white supremacists. Because they're white. Yeah. Colonialist. I probably didn't have a problem with that. But he was far from a great leader. In fact, he was a terrible leader. Yeah. Terrible leader for what he did in Ireland, for what he did in India, what he said about people from Iraq, what he said about people from Sudan when he was a young soldier in Sudan. Okay. Terrible person. But the fight was between Winston Churchill and Adolf Hitler. Yeah? You can imagine doing the both sides in the Second World War.
You can't.
If you do the both sides, you know what happens? Everyone in the UK will end up speaking German. Yeah? So when there's an existential fight, the people that you have to fight on your behalf are not the perfect people that you want, they're the people that you have. Yeah? We've had this conversation offline. You're not a fan of William Ruto, that's to put it lightly.
Definitely. Everybody knows that.
Yeah? You're not a fan of William Ruto. If Kenya was to be invaded, by, let's say, Somalia, Yeah? Hypothetical Somalis don't get offended.
Let's say Americans.
Yeah, the Americans, yeah, that's a better example.
Yes, a better.
Yeah, if they were to get, you would support the Kenyan Defence Forces
Yes,
and the man leading the Kenyan Defence Forces,
which is the president.
William Samoei Ruto.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I will. No, you know what?
Yeah?
I'll support the presidency, not the president.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
support, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because
I'm not supporting Al Burhan. Yeah? I've got a documentary that I made 2019 criticizing Al Burhan, or 2021, sorry, criticizing Al Burhan, criticizing Ahmed. I'm not a fan of Al Burhan. But I'm supporting the national army in the defense of the nation against a foreign-backed genocidal militia. It's that simple. It's that simple. Yeah? And you'll find everyone that's advancing these both sides stuff, they're all NGO, USAID, National Endowment for Democracy, recipients of funds, all of them. Yeah? Yeah? So what did they say? Who pays the piper?
calls for the tune.
Exactly. Calls for the tune. And who else advances the two sides narrative? Well, I don't know. The United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, they all. So isn't it interesting that the so-called non-government organizations, which are not non-government, all advance the same narrative that is disconnected from the masses on the ground and is identical to the same narrative being presented by the United Kingdom, France, Germany, and the United States, and the UAE, of course. You know, the UAE does the both sides stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the UAE does the both sides stuff. So they're part of this thing called the Quad. Yeah, and the problem why SAF walked away from the peace negotiations presented by the Quad led by the United States is because they were trying to put Sudanese armed forces and the RSF as if there are two legitimate armed groups. Yeah?
Yeah.
So they're literally advancing the narrative of the imperialists.
Wow. It's a mess. It's a mess. But so you are we've talked about this multiple times offline. You are totally against this neutral stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You are totally against it.
Of course, it's a fight. It's a fight. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. Yeah, we know we've got a snippet of what it looks like if the RSF wins.
Yeah,
they won in Al Fasher. We saw genocide. We saw genocide. Yeah, an absolute genocide.
Yeah, it was
because of the backlash of the genocide. The commander that committed so many of the atrocities, Abulula.
Yeah. I've seen him.
Yeah.
You know, where do they always post these videos?
Because he's proud. Yeah. So anyway, the general that is committed all those crimes, the RSF called him into a tribunal and said, this is according to the defector that's just joined SAF. Yeah. So this is from the horse's mouth, someone that was in there. They called him into the tribunal. They didn't say, why are you killing all those people? Why did you put 7 bullets into a pregnant woman's belly? Why did you assassinate all those people that go? Why did you film yourself and make us look bad? Yeah? So they did a fake arrest. He came in one day, left the same day. Yeah? And apparently he's so popular amongst the RSF rank and file. So even with the arrest, they had to tell, this isn't a real arrest. Yeah? And so now they're giving instruction for nobody to film him. So what does it mean? Does it mean his crimes have stopped?
No.
You're just not being filmed?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So they go into a hospital. The worst video is they go into a hospital, people are there lying down, sick. And maybe you can show this as B-roll.
Yeah.
Lying down sick. He comes down the stairs and he just starts spraying everyone on the floor. Yeah? This is the worst terror group currently on the planet right now, and you want to do both sides.
You can't. Do
you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense.
You can't.
Doesn't make any sense. Imagine like what's his name? Mohammed Hassan, the president of Somalia. Yeah. Imagine saying to him, both sides, you and Al-Shabaab are the same. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So would you want Al-Shabaab to rule the country?
No.
Yeah, their warped version of Islam, where they hit women on the street for what they consider inappropriate dress. What do we mean by both sides? Yeah,
The terror attacks they've done.
yeah.
No,
what
you
do
can't.
what do we mean by both
You can't.
sides?
You can't.
You tell the people, the victims of the Westgate
Westgate massacre.
that the KDF and Al Shabaab are the same.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Like, nobody can even think about that. But my question is this: why are they so sick to a point where they film this stuff? It's like they're proud.
Of course,
Like,
they're proud.
what type of madness do you have to have in your brain to be proud of spraying bullets on children and women? Like, what went wrong? Like,
It's because they dehumanized the Masali tribe to such a point that they don't see them as equals. Yeah? And then, what's interesting about the RSF, the majority of people that make up the RSF come from very impoverished parts of Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah? Very impoverished parts of Sudan. But because of what we discussed in a previous video, this Arab supremacy, Arab identity complex, they've been told that their poo doesn't stink, that they are, from this enlightened group of people, that they're a different ethnic group to the African, that they're genetically more advanced, genetically superior, all this type of stuff. So then what you get is what I call the redneck syndrome. Yeah? You know why rednecks are called rednecks?
Explain why.
Because
Actually, I've never.
because they work in the sun and their neck gets red.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it's a deeper meaning.
So what does it mean? It means these are people who are not just as poor, but they're poor, they're impoverished. Life hasn't gone as they thought it should. But they've been told they're white, that the white man, is supreme. If Jesus was white, you are the chosen people.
Yes.
Yeah, but then they're poor. So then they've got a chip on their shoulder. How can I be white and poor? Yeah. Meanwhile, this black man who's worked hard has managed to get himself a few chickens, and he goes to the market and he sells the chickens. So what do they want to do? They want to attack the black man, not the ruling class that made them poor in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get you.
So it's the same kind of stuff with the RSF. They're poor, they're impoverished. They expected life to turn out better than it did. Yeah? And so I have this resentment, particularly post-2005, where there was a comprehensive peace agreement between the Sudanese state and a lot of the armed and rebel groups.
After the Darfur War?
Yeah, exactly. And so they felt that they were left out of those kind of peace agreements, and now all of these groups have started to advance while they've been left behind. Yeah? So there's that, plus centuries of brainwashing propaganda and racism and the effects of colonialism and the British's divide and rule, the Southern policy, all of these things, yeah? The fact that the administration jobs were given to people that were, self-identified as being from Arab tribes in Sudan. All of this led to a racial stratification in Sudan. And RSF is just the manifestation of all of those unsettled manifestations.
So my question is this, Ahmed. Let's say SAF wins the war and RSF is defeated and SAF has gotten control of the country.
That can't happen, by the way, but yeah.
Really?
I mean, there's just no way. If we get to a stage where SAF is being defeated, I'm flying to Sudan. I'm joining the struggle. Just as simple as that. And there'll be many more like me. Because this is about the future of Sudan. Yeah?
Wait. Oh, sorry. I got it mixed.
Yeah.
Sorry. If SAF defeats the RSF and the country is back in the hands of Sudan armed forces, right? What's the future now? Does Burhan become president?
That's a good question.
Does now what happened? You see, because that's what these neutral guys are saying. If SAF takes control of the country, who becomes the president? Does the civilian population choose their own leader? Will the army allow the civilians to choose their own leader? Or will there be another war because of the beef between the civilians and the army? That's something that people.
It's a great question.
And trust me, I get you. This neutrality stance, I'm also against it because this is war and you have to pick a side. It's either you're on the wrong side or the right side. But then I think some of them are looking at it from a point of, okay, then what happens if SAF takes back the country? What do you think about that?
So we have to distinguish between short-term objectives and long-term objectives. Yeah? Short-term objectives, which everyone should get behind, is defeating RSF.
Yes.
The long-term objectives is getting back to the aims and the ambitions of the Sudanese revolution, which is ultimately civilian rule. Now, we have a problem. A lot of the civilian leadership have been compromised. We saw them here in Nairobi, forming this parallel government by the RSF. So some of the civilian leadership are despised by the Sudanese masses. Yeah, principally Abdullah Hamdok, who was the prime minister during the transitional period.
Yes.
Who used to be a good friend of my father's.
Oh, yes.
He's been to when we lived in Leeds, he's been to my house. When I was last in Sudan with my dad visited his house.
Is he a good guy?
No, he's a terrible piece of, opportunist piece of...
You can cuss.
Yeah? I'm trying to say this to say, you know, when it comes to the homeland, you have to put all these personal to the side.
Yeah.
My dad would agree with me now. Yeah? When people show their true colors, they show their true colors. Yeah? If we're like brothers now, we're friends.
Yes.
If I sell out the African cause, African liberation, I'd expect you to speak about me the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I will.
We can't allow personal relationships to get in the way
Of the struggle.
Yeah? He's living in the UAE. He's now...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's living in the UAE. His son works for UAE investment company. Yeah? Managing UAE investments. Allegedly involved in all sorts of other stuff, which I won't say for legal reasons.
Okay.
Potentially clubbing mercenaries. Again, allegedly for legal reasons.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and he just walks around everywhere. He goes on these tours in Europe, and every time he goes to tour, giving the exact UAE talking points, there's always a protest of Sudanese people outside. Yeah, so this has become symbolic of the civilian leadership. So it doesn't mean that we should never have civilian rule. We need civilian rule in Sudan. People have died for civilian rule. We just need new leaders.
Okay.
Yeah, from the grassroots. The people that have stayed behind in Sudan, the community kitchens, yeah, the revolutionary groups that stayed on the ground, of organized people, have tried to raise consciousness, provide food, have been in contact with me, helping fund water wells, solar panels, schools, nurseries.
Yeah, you do that, man.
But it shouldn't be me, of course not. It should be those people that stayed behind when they could have left. Yeah? That we need, when there's a fire, I'm going to get all mythical here. When there's a fire and it burns everything to the ground, and there's nothing but ash left on the ground. In, I don't know what mythology is it, Greek or Roman? There's a phoenix that rises up. Yeah? You don't see it when the fire's happening. You don't see it when things are being eviscerated. That phoenix will emerge in Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah? And that phoenix will lead us to civilian rule. So that is our long-term objective. When the war is over, we need to struggle for the army to return back to the barracks.
Yes.
The army to let go of the chokehold that it had before the war on the Sudanese economy. Yeah? The Sudanese army, like there's many criticisms I could give the Sudanese army. They controlled so many of the industries.
Yes,
Import,
yes,
export,
yes.
automobiles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah? Farming,
Farming,
agriculture,
farming.
banking.
I saw the
Yeah?
farming, yeah.
It was corrupt, completely corrupt. We're not expunging them of their crimes. We're just saying there's a long-term goal and there's a short-term goal. The short-term goal is
to
defeat the RSF. The long-term goal is to get back to the December revolution's aims and objective, which is civilian rule, which is answerable to the Sudanese people.
Has Burhan committed to that so far? Has he said that when we get back this country, we are giving the power to the people?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. But it doesn't, why would he? Of course, if he defeats the RSF, he's going to be treated like a national hero, and he'll probably want to ride that train.
Yeah, you know how they do.
Yeah, all the way to the presidential palace. But does that mean we shouldn't support him in defeating RSF? It's a logical fallacy, isn't it? So because he's got aims, because he might have aims of becoming the president post-war,
that doesn't mean
we shouldn't try end the war. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? We've lost family members.
The whole country is
the whole country.
Nothing is working.
People are in famine. People are in famine. Children are malnourished. Dengue fever's out of control. Cholera. Even in Khartoum, which has been liberated from RSF, we don't have electricity. We have blackouts.
Oh, really?
There's no consistent electricity. People are struggling. So miss me with that academic, theoretical stuff.
Yeah.
We need to go back. I need to go back to my country. I need to go back to my country.
There needs to be stability.
There needs to be stability.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, let's say Burhan becomes president. You know him. You know Sudan very well. You think he'll be the leader that can get the Sudanese economy, social, and political life back? Do you think he'll bring stability to the country? Do you think he'll unite the country? Because that's most likely because we all know politicians. They'll write off of I'm the hero guy, and now So let's say Burhan becomes president. You think he'll successfully unite the country, or
for a period of time? Yes.
Okay.
For a period of time, but that time will run out, and people will want what they wanted in the December Revolution. But in terms of economy, for economies to grow, you need stability. For stability, you need peace.
Yes.
Yeah? If we look at the African context, the poorest countries are the countries riddled with conflict. Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we look at Burundi, is always in the bottom three. Yeah? South Sudan, which is Adler. Somalia, Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah? The Central African Republic. Yeah?
Yeah.
If we look at the countries that are economically the most advanced, they're the countries that have relative stability.
Yes.
They might have protests.
Kenya is one of them.
Kenya is one of them.
Yeah.
There's not been any wars in Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know.
We had was it the 207?
Yeah, population violence.
Yeah. But it's still not a war. Yeah. It's a lot of people that have died, but it's not nowhere near what we've had in Sudan, which is hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Ghana is one of them. Ghana's never really had a war.
Yeah.
South Africa post-apartheid has never had a war. Although we can get into how they're acting against the African migrants at a later point. Yeah. So you need stability.
Yes.
Yeah. You need peace and security.
Yes.
And stability.
Yes.
Yeah. And then once you have that, Europe as a whole, Europe since the Second World War, apart from Russia, Ukraine, Yugoslavia, majority of what we consider European Union countries, they don't have wars, so they can invest in stuff. For people to invest in your country infrastructure projects, they need to know it's not going to get blown up. You know what I'm saying? It's simple stuff.
Definitely.
It's simple stuff.
Stability has to be there. Peace has to be
there. Stability
for the
has to be
thrive.
Stability has to be there, and it has to be there for a sustained period of time. At least 5-10 years of stability.
Yeah.
Of stability. So,
So you think he'll bring it in? Let's say in the first 5 years he's in charge of Sudan. Burhan?
yeah, I think, it would be honorable for him to say, we are going back to the barracks, and we're gonna make room for elections, and we're going to secure the electoral process. But I don't think he will do that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I just know, I was born on a Saturday. I wasn't born last Saturday. Yeah, I just know how politics works. He's gonna, if he wins the war, he'll ride that train, as his advisors will be telling him to do.
Of course.
But I don't want that conversation to surpass the need to support SAF in the war. It's not supporting SAF. It's supporting SAF in the war. Yeah? There's a difference, there's a distinction.
In the war, not SAF entirely.
Yeah.
In this war.
Yes.
I get you. Now, what's the progress? Is it getting better or worse? Because last time we talked about this, it was actually before the war.
Before the war.
Before the Iran war. US-Israel Iran war. Now, UAE has been bombed by Iran. Has that affected the supply of gold and weapons between the RSF and the UAE? And also, with the defectors and with SAF taking the territories back, with the RSF defectors and with SAF taking the territories back, is there some progress to SAF reclaiming the country, even if it's a little? Is there some progress?
So there was a lot of progress, and that's why, defectors defect because their side's losing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And at first it was unclear whether the US-Israeli war on Iran would have an effect, but it definitely did. Yeah. Okay. Because the UAE's flights were grounded, which meant that the supply routes were halted. And so then we started to see, this RSF camp in Ethiopia, which became like a new front of the struggle. Yeah. Now, Ethiopia is probably one of the UAE's key partners.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're building Abiy Ahmed's presidential palace.
Oh.
They're building Abiy Ahmed's presidential palace. They've given him billions in loans and grants, to rebuild the country after the Tigray war.
Oh.
They support him to the hilt. And so...
Is that where the damn money came from?
No, the damn money came from Ethiopians in the diaspora. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I
like but he... Someone be in charge when something is completed and they get the credit. But this damn project was...
Oh, it has been the pipeline.
Yeah.
Even before Abiy Ahmed.
Yeah, even before Abiy Ahmed.
Oh, okay.
So we got completed while he is. So he's taking all the credit, taking all the pictures. But it's a beautiful thing. But actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that's also related to the Sudan conflict. So one of the problems with SAF, is from independence, 1956, it's been closely aligned to the Egyptian armed forces.
Okay.
Yeah. And Egypt is supporting SAF in the conflict against the UAE-backed RSF. Yeah. But Egypt is playing a double game because they also have very good relationships with the UAE.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're supporting them on this front, but they have all these business deals and stuff with the UAE over there. So, because Egypt has a problem with the Grand Renaissance Dam, Sudan now has a problem with the Grand Renaissance Dam. Even though there's no empirical evidence that the dam is having a negative effect on the water supply into Sudan. Yeah?
Okay.
In fact, evidence to the contrary, that, every year the River Niles bust its banks and a lot of agricultural land is flooded. By having a dam, that reduces that
The water supply
water supply slightly.
in Egypt.
So in Egypt, apart from like very biased Egypt publications, we've not seen any independent objective analysis that says that it will affect Egypt. Egypt is work with Egypt. It's more of a sovereignty issue where they feel like the Nile belongs to them, because the Nile is so closely associated with Egypt. The River Nile. Whenever people think of the River Nile, they never think of Uganda,
Sudan, which other? Ethiopia also.
Ethiopia. Do you know what I'm saying? They just think of Egypt. It's like the stories, Moses, even though the you know, according to people in the north of Sudan, the Moses basket was dropped in Sudan and it went because the River Nile.
Yeah, there were no borders back in the day.
Yeah, the River Nile streams upwards, isn't it, into Egypt?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's another reason why Ethiopia is trying to support the RSF. Because under the guise of my enemy's enemy is my friend. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you support Egypt over the dam, and if there's a potential future conflict, we're going to support the people that are fighting you, so that if they can take power, they'll represent our interests.
Why is Kenya, though, is supporting the RSF, which is insane?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's just money, isn't it? My theory on Ruto is this.
Not Kenya, Kenyan leadership.
Yeah. My theory on Ruto is this. You know, I was here when he first got elected. What,
2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, late 2022.
Yeah, I was going back and forth. I'd moved here in January 2023. So when he kind of took power, I was here, but I was back and forth. So I was listening to all the speeches, the Hustler Fund and this and that. My theory on Ruto is, you know, his whole pitch is, I'm an outsider. I'm not Odinga.
I'm not a Kenyatta.
I'm not a Kenyatta.
Yeah. I'm not a Moi.
I'm not a Moi.
I'm just a chicken seller.
Exactly.
Who came from the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. Very great pitch. But I think he's determined in the 4 or 8 years that he's in politics to become one of these dynastic families.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
So he's trying to... I shouldn't say this while I'm living here. I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Please
but he's trying to accumulate as much wealth as possible during these 4 and 8 years. So now you see the Rwandan-backed M23, a lot of them are in Kenya. Yeah? Any rebel group, they can find a home in Kenya as long as you're willing to pay. Yeah? The RSF, we see Sudanese number plates, RSF driving around here in Kenya.
Hemeti's brother has a Kenyan passport.
Has a Kenyan passport.
That blew my mind.
But this is just money. It's just about money and gold. Yeah. So a lot of the gold that's smuggled out is smuggled via a lot of these countries that are supporting the RSF via the UAE. Yeah. So a lot of gold is being used, and then when it comes to election campaigns, you know, they go to these places and they just pay people.
Of course.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it that that's how so much of African politics is settled. By how much money you distribute.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
But the problem isn't. It's about money flow and money accounting. Yeah. So you can't take money out of the bank and give it to someone, because if you take a big money out of the bank, they go, "What's this for?"
What's this for?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
shady things. So gold is the perfect remedy to that. Isn't it? You take gold on the black market, you exchange it for cash on the black market, you give it out. Yeah?
Yeah.
Money in your bank stays secure, everything looks legit, everything looks above board.
We call them wash here in Kenya. It's sad that Kenya were always at the wrong side. We were with Macron, inviting him while Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso are decolonizing from French.
Yeah.
Now we're in the G7 and Ruto is representing Africa there. He thinks that he's the king of Africa because he has been chosen by white supremacy to represent Africa in the G7.
Yeah. And Kenyans were getting arrested outside you saw my camera operator got arrested.
Yeah,
we were covering the protest.
I saw that.
We were covering the protest. She got arrested.
I saw that. So we are always right now. I can say with the Ruto presidency, we are at the wrong side of African history. Ebola there. with the Sudan.
Yeah.
Now with
Haiti.
Haiti.
Yeah.
Even though the officers came back, it was a failed mission. So where did you? So what's the result? Have the gangs? You've been to Haiti, right?
No, I've not been to
No,
Haiti.
you've been to Haiti, but you've done stories about
Yeah,
Haiti.
yeah. We've got a
Yeah,
correspondent there. We
yeah,
got a correspondent.
you told me. African Stream, huh?
Yeah, and Sovereign Media
And
now.
Sovereign Media.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
the gangs are still there. So it was a failed mission. So what did you go to do there? You just accepted money from the US, and so it's and by the way, the cops. I remember they were complaining that they were not getting paid much.
Yeah.
So we're always at the wrong side of history, and this one, let me tell you.
Sorry, just to add, all of these Kenyans that are being mistreated in the Gulf, Ruto and
Saudi Arabia. Oh,
Ruto and his family are in the middle of that. Yeah, they've got a business.
Yeah, they were exposed the other day.
They've got a business.
The agency business that's taking people to Saudi Arabia.
So instead of providing jobs for Kenyans, you eat off the fact that there's no jobs and set up an agency for them to go there when you know as soon as they get there, the passports are taken off them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to work 7 days a week. They're told that they can't go home for 2 years.
Denied food.
Treated horrendously. If they're women, they're sexually harassed, assaulted.
And they end up dead as well.
We saw a Kenyan taxi driver being sexually assaulted by an Arab man.
I saw that.
When he posted the video on social media, he got kicked out of the country. So it's like, it's sad.
It's sad. And let me tell you.
And this life is short. It's like if I could have one message to William. Yeah. William, this life is short. Yeah. As a Muslim, we believe the afterlife is eternity.
Yes.
Yeah. So what you're trying to accumulate wealth, for this short period, when you're gonna be accounted for your crimes against people that look just like you, which is gonna mean that you're gonna live much worse off in the afterlife. In the afterlife.
So for the eternity, you will be punished.
Exactly. They say this life is like a grain of sand. Yeah, grain of sand. So like, what do you do here? Who have you helped? Who have you wronged? We also believe everyone that you wronged will come to testify against you on Judgment Day. So we'll have these Haitian police officers testifying against him. We'll have these Kenyan maids. We'll have testifying against him.
The young people.
We'll have the Gen Zs. We'll have the Gen Zs. Yeah. We'll have the projects, the orphanage projects that were meant to be built, the hospitals that were meant to be built, but the money that was siphoned off for hotels and private businesses. We'll have the Sudanese people accounting against you, testifying against you. So yeah, man.
Yeah, but let me say this: in the long run, or maybe even in the short run, Kenya will pay. Like and that's the problem. We will pay for taking the wrong sides in each and every conflict, in each and every scenario that we are, that we are taking the wrong sides on. We will pay, and it will make Kenya sort of like a pariah state here in Africa. We're like, Kenya is where all the sellouts are. And one day, I'm telling you, when Sudan gets back on track, when DRC gets back on track, when Africans start waking up, Kenya will suffer because they'll be like, when for example, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, when we were decolonizing from France, you betrayed us by taking Macron's side.
Yeah.
It will, all these things that we're doing will bounce on us hard.
Definitely. You know, it's funny. We'll move on to BATUK in a moment.
Yes.
We just did a story about the Ebola Center. And the title of the story was Kenya is not an American colony. And an African sister from the US goes, what do you mean it's not a US colony? You send troops to Haiti, you set up an Ebola factory, you accept an IMF package against the will of the people.
Yes.
How is it not an American? I know it got rejected, but then now they're trying to push it through the back door.
Yeah.
How are you not an American colony? And because I've been living here for the last 4 years, I was going to respond and I was like, what can I respond? It's not. It's a tough argument.
It's a tough argument.
It's a tough argument to make.
And the troops are here as well.
Yeah. They're in Lamu.
Yeah, they're in Lamu.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we will pay.
They say they're going to replace, the largest drone military site for the US was in Niger. And so Niger, out of the 3 AES countries, went further than the others 2. Yeah? The other 2 kicked out France.
Yes.
Kicked out French media. But at least on paper, they still have good relations with the US.
Okay.
Yeah? Niger kicked out the drone base, which was the largest drone base in Africa, and is the second country in Africa after Eritrea to cancel all relationships with military-to-military relationships with Afrikan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So Niger has gone an extra mile.
Yeah.
Huh?
Niger has gone further, and actually, I know Mali made the news recently, but Niger has been punished heavily for it. There is a huge insurgency in Niger that doesn't get the amount of attention that it deserves. But people from Niger really need our support in exposing these groups and pushing back against these groups.
We'll talk about that on our Sahel segment. But again, I repeat, Kenya will pay for the wrong stances we are taking. We'll pay, and we will pay it really, like in a really ugly way. Now, BATUK, by the way, let me say that you in sovereign media, you did your thing. You did your thing. That was I was watching it at night, and I repeated it again and again and again. Because I know you were telling me you're making it. You really took your time into making this, and I could see why you took your time, because the quality was amazing. Number one, so kudos to that. You did a good job.
Thank you.
What again? And I told you this. Only one criticism.
The covering of the
you blurred the face of the British soldiers. And I know many people told you that, right?
Yes. That's the biggest feedback.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Show their faces, man.
Sure.
They killed an innocent woman.
Yeah.
They dumped her in a septic tank. They deserve to be seen.
Stabbed her.
Yeah.
Dismembered her body.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'll explain why.
Okay,
because that's the biggest thing that people keep saying to me.
Yeah.
So obviously I was born and raised in the UK.
Yes.
And in the UK, there's very strict rules regarding reporting on active cases.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm right in believing in Kenya, there is no jury. Is there?
It's just a judge.
It's just a judge. So I guess they assume in Kenya, because the judge is trained, and that's his profession, he's not going to be influenced by the background noise and whatnot. Well, a jury is literally members of the public.
Yes.
You could be a jury member. I could be a jury member. Yeah. So how you report on active cases is very restricted. Once the case is concluded and someone's been convicted, then you can report freely. So because at the moment these are allegations that haven't been proven in a court of law, I thought until they're proven, we don't want to jeopardize the case itself. Okay. Yeah. Sovereign media is registered in the UK, also registered in Kenya. I was born in the UK. The Kenyan government has put in an extradition request to the UK government. So we didn't want our documentary, of course, it's unlikely, but we just wanted to be safe rather than sorry.
Yes.
For them to say, oh, they're not going to get a fair trial in Kenya. Look at the way they're talking about this guy. They've convicted him before he's been found guilty. So that was the reason. I felt like we could tell the story and the allegations.
Yes.
Without showing his face.
Okay.
Yeah, people can find his face.
Yeah, you can.
Elsewhere. That was a decision I took based on my history as a journalist in the UK. I was a journalist in the UK for almost 10 years before I moved to Kenya.
Yes.
So I was just carrying on that tradition of not reporting on active cases. Yeah, but you know, the evidence was all there. The evidence was all there. So, and people go, "Why did you show Agnes's face?" Agnes's family wanted us to show her face.
Oh yeah.
So we interviewed her sister, her niece. They wanted to show her face. Of course, I'm sure the alleged perpetrator wouldn't want us to show his face. Not that I'm doing it for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just what I'm trying to say is apple and oranges. You can't compare.
Yeah. You're saying it's for legal purposes.
Yeah, legal purposes. Not to jeopardize, because we want nothing more for this perpetrator of this crime to face the full weight of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be clear, we know she was killed by a British soldier. That's without dispute.
Yes.
There is a slight dispute about which British soldier did it. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not major, but you know, from our perspective, it's 95% sure that it's a particular person. But because there were two soldiers that apparently, you know, were in that room with her.
Okay.
It's not 100%. 100%. We're pretty sure, based on all of the evidence. So it's until it becomes proven in a court of law, that's the strategy we decided to go with.
Nah, no problem. Another thing. I know you told me this. I remember, I think on our previous interview, you told me that you're going to feature a mother who lost his son with a blast from the candle bomb. But when I saw it on the documentary, it really affected me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It really affected me. So, is it that in the BATUK training camps, they don't tell the people who work there that this is dangerous, don't touch this,
Yes.
don't take it home?
Exactly.
That's the case.
Yes. So what we heard from people in the community is the British soldiers will have all this protective gear, masks, gloves, the masks that come out here, the big boots.
Yes.
And they'll just get like a humble Kenyan man or woman, won't give them the information about what they're handling. Or on the cases that they do it, they do it in English without a translator. Yeah. So in the case of this young man, his aunt is who I interviewed.
Oh, the aunt.
The aunt.
Yes.
So she was saying that he primarily spoke Kikuyu and Swahili.
Okay.
Yeah. She said it was never explained to him in neither language what he was doing. He was just told, clear this up, put it in this bin. Yeah. So obviously, he's not even thinking he's stealing something because they're about to throw it away anyway. Yeah. So he sees a candle, he thinks, it's a perfectly good candle. My house is a kind of humble place. We need many lights. I'm going to take this home. Takes it home, lights it,
Blew him to pieces.
blew him to the top of the ceiling. Yeah. Something I pinch myself. You know when you watch something so many times and then you watch it like the 10th time, you're like, why didn't I include this?
Yes.
What I should have included is they couldn't get a death certificate initially because it was hard to comprehend conclusively that this was a human body.
Oh.
Because it was that
bad.
It was that bad. Yeah. So it took a while for them to get a death certificate because they couldn't identify him. Just imagine he just splattered on the ceiling. Yeah. Then his grandma was in the next room. The blast through his grandma, made her deaf. His aunt was in like the back of the house.
Okay.
She heard the explosion. His aunt was working a good job for the agricultural ministry, I believe. But now, the nephew's dead. The grandma's deaf. So she leaves her job to look after her grandma. It happened in her house. Yeah. The house is destroyed.
Wow.
She also got some shrapnel from the building and whatnot. The aunt, who's the only surviving member of the three, well, not the only surviving, the grandma died like 6 months later, I believe. So the aunt who was left up got no compensation, zero. Not for the loss of property.
Did she sue the BATUK?
No, the only person that got compensation was the boy's father.
Okay.
The boy's father, I think the boy lost his mother when he was young.
Okay.
So the boy's father got compensation. Something like 5 million Kenyan shillings shared with the law firm. Yeah? Now I'm from the UK. I know in the UK, I know what you would get for if this was a British person in the UK who lost his life. It'd been hundreds of thousands. So 5 million.
5 million is nothing.
5 million, which is about £30,000.
It's nothing.
For losing. So what you're saying,
That's it.
the average soldier in BATUK makes more than £30,000 per year. Yeah? You're saying this young boy who was like late teens, early 20s, I can't remember his exact age, who has his whole life ahead of him. His whole life, yeah? His whole life is worth £30,000. And that's what you pay your soldiers annually. Like, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Now,
And the clubs all around in the UK, they're all catered to them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. They run around. They do what they want.
Coffee
They
shops.
go into the malls with their guns showing. Yeah, on the holster.
Wow. Is that even legal?
I was like, this feels like an occupation army.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they make it seem like it's some partnership. It feels like could you imagine? There's nowhere in the UK where, you know, there are American soldiers based in the UK.
Okay.
They don't walk into the supermarkets with their guns. They wouldn't be allowed to. It'd cause uproar. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a real sad story. Real sad story.
And it makes sense that they built it in 1963 when we got independence.
Yeah, of course.
Fine, we're giving you that fake independence.
Yeah.
But you just know that we have our people here with these types of weapons who are in Laikipia, which is where white people own almost all the land. If you, and you know what?
On 999-year leases.
That's just an eternity.
Yeah.
Now look, I think they built it there. I think the British Army training base is there in Laikipia, where white people own almost all the land to protect the white. You know, they call it the White Highlands.
The Highlands.
To protect the White Highlands, and I think that's where they put it there in 1963, and then also they put it there to tell you Africans that we've given you independence, some sort of independence, but you just know that our people here, our men are here with these types of weapons. If you misbehave, if you get some revolutionary spirit and now try to take back your land, we are here. But that shouldn't deter us from taking back our land.
Yeah.
Because, and I always say this in every interview I go, we can never talk about liberation if we don't take back our land. Land is the most important thing. The White Highlands is not just only in Laikipia. It's also in Nakuru County, where I come from, part called Naivasha. White people own. That's why when you see, like, you go to Naivasha?
I went there last weekend, actually.
Yeah. Oh, you went there. You've seen all these resorts and everything.
They're all white owned. Yeah.
And so there's Laikipia, there's Naivasha. There was also parts of Kiambu where are white. So all those are the White Highlands.
You know, it's interesting though. The lake is growing. So one of the places that I stayed in for one of the days, late Naivasha, we went on a boat, and the guy was like, "See that over there? That used to be my office. The lake had consumed it."
Yeah, it was consumed it.
And he said, and I said, "So how far do you reckon this will go?" He goes, "This whole hotel will be underwater within 5-10 years." So you know what I mean? God works in mysterious ways.
That's how the ancestors get back. Even Lake Nakuru is swelling.
Yes,
Swelling. Last time I was there, it was swelling.
Yeah.
That's how ancestors work. They speak through nature. Now, back to Agnes Wanjiru before we close this topic. Do you think that I saw that he was denied bail in Britain, right? So is he under arrest in Britain? Because last time I checked was last year, November, and that's when I read that he was denied bail in Britain. Is he truly under arrest?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I'm not sure.
Robert Parkes.
I'd be surprised, because Britain has a long history of looking after its enforcers. So there was a trial that happened, was it last year or 2 years ago, of a British soldier that shot white people in the north of Ireland during what they call the Troubles, an event known as Bloody Sunday. Yeah, shot them in the back, shot them while they were waving white flags. Yeah, I think it was called Soldier F. They never released his identity, and then they had a long drawn-out trial and found him innocent of all charges when he shot people in the back. Yeah, so
They protect their own.
they protect their own. Yeah, because they just know if you throw the book at him, it's gonna dissuade people from joining the army. Yeah, and army admissions are on all-time low anyway. Yeah, they can't get enough people. That's why we have the British Ministry of Defence saying that we should explore the option of compulsory military service and all this type of stuff, because they're really struggling to get the numbers. Yeah, so they can't. I'd be very surprised if he is extradited and faced and brought to face. And let's have a look at the agreement anyway between the British and the Kenyans. The agreement was immunity for British soldiers. Yeah. So, by him facing trial in Kenya, it almost defies their own agreement.
Yes, it does. It does.
Which is the agreement which the French have based their agreement with Kenya on. Immunity to French soldiers. So, you know...
Why do they want this immunity?
Exactly. Of course, ask yourself, why do they want this immunity? So they can do what they want. And because Britain has never come to terms with its colonial past, they think they're just doing what their forefathers did. Do you know what I'm saying? For them, the colonies was their playground. Yeah? Where they could rape, pillage, conquer, put the flag in the ground. So they're just continuing in that quote unquote rich tradition.
But in a different way.
Yeah.
But the goal is still the same. Make sure that Kenya is under us. Wow. But you know what? It was a very touching
Thank you.
documentary. I like the way you went to Agnes's grave. There was a beautiful tree there.
Yeah.
And I like, we can't give up. We can't give up. And we pray that justice prevails. We pray that justice prevails. Even though, to be honest, it looks less likely that he'll be extradited back. But justice will prevail. Trust me. Trust me. I always say this. Kenya will have a revolutionary leader very soon. All these young people talking the way they're talking. One person will emanate from the Gen Zs, and one person will emanate from the Gen Zs, and the Gen Zs will support that Gen Z leader to become something in this country.
We just need to disentangle
Yeah.
the whole NGOization of revolutionary movements.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. This is a big problem we have throughout the African continent.
Oh, these NGOs, huh?
The NGOs. What happens is they see a revolutionary leader emerging, and then they co-opt him. And they do it in a very subtle way. So what they do is they start funding them. When they start funding them and they, you work for the NGO,
Okay.
or better still, they set up an NGO in your name. Then they start telling you who you can and can't associate with.
Oh, okay.
Then they start reflecting. It starts really subtle. They say when you're being co-opted, it's like somebody who gets stuck in a tide.
Yeah.
That you think you're swimming, you think you're okay. Oh, I'm all right. And before you know it, the coastline looks very far away. Yeah, because it's incremental. So I don't want to mention names, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. So they fund them. They make you stay in these 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you fly business class. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they do it in a subtle way, like the European does. I liked your speech. I didn't like this part. I thought it was a bit too fiery. Yeah. It's interesting what you said in the last speech, but why did you mention the Americans? The Americans are trying to promote. It's just subtle. And before you know it, this leader who had revolutionary aspirations is completely co-opted, is now singing from the same hymn sheet as the people that are funding him, is now telling us that both sides in the Sudanese war
neutrality
are the same. Yeah? He's now, instead of talking about revolution, he's talking about reform. Yeah? Or instead of talking about revolution, he's talking about elections. Yeah?
White people really get scared when talking about revolution. Though.
Yeah, as if when a system is being corrupted from 1963, all it takes is one election to solve it. It doesn't change the fundamental nature of the police force.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't change the fundamental nature of the army. Doesn't change the fundamental nature of the judiciary,
even
of the banking system,
the economy,
of
which
the
is
economy,
heavily colonized. Yes,
the import and exports.
Yes.
The Finlays that exports the tea and the flowers.
Yes, natural resources.
What's it called? Del Monte.
That
does the juices
Yeah.
and then kills someone for climbing over, trying to get himself a little humble pineapple. Doesn't change the neo-colonial control that Kenya is under. Yeah? That's why we really need to. Of course, it's difficult though because our people are poor. A lot of our people are poor. Yeah? So when NGO comes in and they offer them this, automatically start thinking about your mom's hip surgery that you've delayed, your dad's diabetes treatment,
your rent,
the slum that your little brother has to leave every day to go to school.
Yes.
And sometimes on the way back, when he comes back a bit too late, the local boys be tapping his pockets. All of these things come into your head. Yeah. So I don't blame them. It's just we're never going to have revolutions while these NGOs are infected and infested all over the continent.
And they use, let's say, majority of the donor money to pay themselves well, to go to these
and they live in completely different communities
to
the people that they claim to be representing.
I know NGOs very well. When I was unemployed, when I was a young boy, I don't want to say the name, but I used to be a volunteer in an NGO. This was many years ago. I used to be a volunteer in this NGO. It was partly owned by a Kenyan and partly owned by an American. Let me tell you something, man. I got out of there because I noticed that, number one, how are the volunteers being paid poorly? Yet we saw this news article that you received millions from this company, millions from this company, millions from this company, but volunteers are being paid like. And I was, volunteers are not being given contracts. That's another thing about NGOs. Ask the volunteers. Many NGOs don't give contracts
to the volunteers.
Yeah, they don't give them employment contracts.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they don't want them to be labor laws entangled. Because when your labor laws entangled, there's a minimum wage you have to follow.
There's rights.
So they like to keep them on the gray area in this labor force.
Yeah.
And I left after...
Labor ambiguous is what they call it.
Yes, labor ambiguous.
You saw what happened with Doctors Without Borders, MSF.
Yes, I saw that. Oh, man.
Yeah, and this happens all over. Haiti, there was
Haiti,
similar.
in the
similar-
2010 earthquake.
Central African Republic, they were forcing little girls to have sex with animals. It's the NGO sector is a joke. A joke. I really despise the NGO sector. And, let's just talk about Kenya quickly.
Yes.
Kenya has, I think, the largest UN presence in Africa.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah? And it's looking to expand that presence.
Yeah, to have many headquarters coming.
What people don't realize is when the UN comes, what happens? Rent prices go up.
Yes. Oh,
Restaurant food prices go up. Yeah? So whatever little good that the UN does, which is, questionable, but whatever little good that they do, I know they do some good work with regards to refugees, and regards to children, some children aspects in providing support and whatnot. But whatever good they do, it's dwarfed by the negative effect of them just being here. Yeah? Making rent prices across the board. So yeah, they live in one of these big houses in Spring Valley where the rent is like 4,000 to 5,000 a month, which is all paid for by the UN. The UN staff all are tax free, so they don't even contribute to the taxable income that the Kenyan state can use to redistribute for roads and whatnot. But what happens is that house, which would have, if the UN wasn't here, would have been rented maybe 2-3K per month, is now 4-5 because they know the UN person doesn't care. It's paid for by the UN anyway. It means that the other houses, which would have cost 1,000 USD per month, 800 USD per month, is now costing 1,500, 2,000. So it has a knock-on effect. Then the properties that would have cost maybe 800 USD per month is now costing 1,500. Yeah.
So it's gentrification.
And so on and so on and so on. Yeah.
So it's gentrification.
And I don't understand how a lot of, when you ask them their salaries, they get paid 10K per month. Yeah. Some of these NGO workers get paid 10K per month. Tax free? Why is it tax free? Are you not driving on the same roads? Yeah.
There you go.
Are you not driving on the same roads? I know Kenya has a problem with street lights, but are you not being on that road? Are you not using the same street lights? The strange traffic lights, which tells you to stop and go. The police officers that direct, you not benefit from. How do you pay zero taxes? And that's written into their contracts. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a big problem.
Oh man, NGOs is a mess. I've worked there for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I hated every single minute of it. And I said, I'm never going to work in an NGO. I'm never going to be entangled with any NGO ever again.
Yeah.
Because an NGO is an indication that the country has failed.
Yeah.
Why is an NGO coming? And by the way, let me tell you. Oh, man. I know NGOs very well. Because, in Nakuru, have you been in a place called Baringo? Baringo is just next to Nakuru. If you go to Baringo now, there's a litany
of NGOs.
Why? Because there's a lot of poverty there.
Yeah.
There's so they say, oh, you guys don't have water, we'll build a well for you.
Who's meant to build that though?
Schools will be.
Who's meant to build that?
The government.
Exactly. So here's another problem. NGOs feed directly into the corruption. Yeah. So because the NGOs take care of so much of people's education, that money that the government receives in taxes, which is meant to go into the educational budget, doesn't go onto the educational budget.
It doesn't.
Yeah?
It doesn't.
So then we have a situation where Kenyan MPs, amongst the highest MPs anywhere in the world,
all they do is sleep and pass bad laws.
And then they make TikTok videos showing off their cars, their Gucci belts. Yeah? So it creates corruption. It creates a further divide between the rich and the poor.
Yeah.
You have people going into these impoverished communities to help them, but their life is so far removed from these impoverished communities, they have no idea what they're talking about. It's a scam.
It's a scam. So as we conclude, we can't conclude without talking about the Sahel and the terrorism that's going on there. So I think we can start with Mali. The defense minister killed in a terror attack. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, especially Traore has been vocal that, France is behind this. France is behind these terror attacks. But Now the question that people want to know is, why is France supporting these terror attacks? What's their end game? What's their end game?
I like that question.
What's their end game?
So, during the decolonial period in the 60s, in the late 50s, there was a movement to step away from French colonial control, CFA Franc, the French colonial zone. So Ahmed Touré,
Yes.
the president of Guinea,
Guinea.
and Silvio
Olympio.
president of Togo, and Modibo Keita, the president of Mali, all said, we don't want the CFA Franc. We want to stand on our own. Yeah? Ahmed Touré famously said, I'd rather... I'm trying to remember the quote. Please let me not butcher the quote. But something along the lines of, I'd rather be a poor man on his feet than a wealthy man on my knees. Yeah?
Wow. I like
So you can say all these economic benefits and whatnot, but we want to do it on our own. Yeah? We want to have a full sovereign project. So Silvio Olympio was killed. Modibo Keita was incarcerated. Yeah? And couped, all by, French-backed.
Of course.
Ahmed Touré is the only one that survived. Yeah? And if you noticed, he's the one that they try to demonize now. They like us when we're dead.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
They like us when we're martyred. When we survive, they go, oh, he was authoritarian and he was this and he was that.
Definitely.
And he probably was a little bit, but he was doing it because he knew what the forces against him were. Yeah? The same way Ibrahim Traoré is probably slightly authoritarian as well. You have to be. When you're in a situation of war, you can't have complete free press where the French, with all of their billions and billions, can fund all of these journalists to write lies and smear you about you and the Revolutionary Republic, and make up lies about 60% of the countries under terrorist control, which is not true, but which is constantly repeated in French media. Yeah? If you allow these lies to go unchecked in your country, it's going to demoralize the masses. Yeah? So anyway, the French said to Guinea, okay, you don't want to be part of the French colonial zone. You don't want to use the CFA franc. They started destroying all of the things that they claim to have built.
Yeah.
Apparently they started...
They messed up with the sewage system?
Yeah, they started putting cement in the sewage systems. Yeah? So I think in 2026, it's the same thing. You don't want our help to fight terrorism. Okay. We'll see how you get on with the terrorists by yourselves.
Yeah.
Good luck. Meanwhile, they got their hand up the puppeteer's back this way. Of course, there's no definitive proof of this.
Yes.
This is just what I suspect and others suspect, and the leadership in the Sahel suspect. Yeah?
Okay.
When I say there's no proof, of course there is evidence that they've cited. Yeah? The Mali PM and Foreign Minister have said that they've seen French troops resupplying the terrorist groups. They've said this in the UN. Now, we weren't there, but this is what the leadership of those countries have said.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Ibrahim Traoré has also given similar testimonies about his time as a fighter before he became president, of what he's seen.
Yes.
Yeah. He talks about the military equipment that some of these groups had, which is impossible to get in the Sahel, which is, a very dry, deserted part of the continent. Yeah. And then we see the attacks that happen in Mali. 12,000 fighters, they claim, of the JNIM and the FLA, which is the Tuareg separatist groups. 12,000. in different parts of the country, coordinated. Mali is 5 times the size of the UK.
Yeah.
It's a huge country. So how do you get 12,000 fighters, Tuareg separatists, a completely different ideology to JNIM, which is an Al-Qaeda affiliated.
Uh-huh.
So they're all fighting together, coordinated on the same time. So okay, we don't have any evidence that it's the
But
French.
you just put 2 and 2 together.
But someone's backing them. That's what we do know. So who else would be backing them? Who else has an interest to back? Tuareg separatists and Al-Qaeda affiliate. We don't know. Of course, we don't know who's doing it for certain. But there's definitely circumstantial evidence that's pointing in one direction. Yeah. And then we have one of the radio stations in Europe. We're talking about Ukraine special forces being captured who are working with the French Foreign Legion.
Oh.
So there's clearly something going on. There's clearly something going on. And to me, there's a number of reasons. One, the reason that I just mentioned, if you can't do it without us, then we'll ensure that you can't do it. The other reason is Pan-Africanism is the flag that they're waving.
Yes.
Is the struggle that they're advancing. If Pan-Africanism succeeds in the African continent,
That's
who
it.
loses? Who loses?
Yeah, Europe and America.
And France in particular.
France, yep.
Yeah? France is in particular. Around 500 billion is kept in French banks. Yeah? Apparently for security. Yeah? Apparently for security. But France also determines how national budgets are spent. Yeah? Because their argument is, we give you access to the CFA franc. The CFA franc is pegged to the euro. It used to be pegged to the French franc before the euro came about. We need to make sure that you're spending that money responsibly. Yeah? It also means that France has the first right of refusal when it comes to trade deals. So it means that France has no incentive to offer an amazing deal to the Central African Republic, to Chad, because if they don't, then China can come in and offer something else better. Because France has the first right of refusal, it has a monopoly over its former colonies in terms of trade. Yeah, if they all start doing what the AES does, what happens to that monopoly? What happens to the French economy? Yeah. Now, I don't know if there's evidence of this, but there's definitely a correlation. The French economy has been tanking.
Of course.
Yeah?
So the protest, was it last year?
Yeah, the French economy has been tanking. Now, I'm always a bit hesitant to assume that correlation and causation are the same thing.
Okay.
So, because Hitler had a mustache, doesn't mean that he killed all those people because he had a mustache. Yeah? But the timing, French loses its influence in the Sahel and their economy starts tanking, is definitely indicative of something.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not an economist to say it's directly because of that. But definitely it's happened at the same time. Now, if you imagine, had Benin had joined the AES,
now you have access to the
sea.
To the sea.
Yeah, it had Benin had joined, and then had Benin had joined, 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 5, 5 becomes 6, 6 becomes 7. Yeah, and they were aware of this. That's why they're making these encroachments into Kenya. The first time in 60 years, the French African Summit was held outside a French-speaking country. They're aware that the writing's on the wall. So they're trying their best to do everything to stop it. And the best way they can do that is these terrorist groups. It's a long held tactic of these imperialists. Whenever there's a country, acting in a way that they don't like, self-determinative way, sovereign-based policies, all of a sudden you see a terrorist problem pop up. Yeah? So...
And also Al-Qaeda Syrian president. Was
Exactly,
Al-Qaeda. And,
exactly.
you know, Trump has said, yo,
That's our guy.
that's our guy.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for putting him here.
Exactly. So they you know, I'm going to get into some comments about this, but they tell us that the Syrian revolution was an authentic revolution. Firstly, there was $1 billion given by President Obama under Operation Timber Sycamore, funneled to all of these fighters. I remember being in Sudan and an advert came on the TV encouraging people to go fight in Syria.
Oh.
Yeah? So all these foreign fighters, why? Because Syria was part of the resistance axis that was threatening their satellite proxy state in the region, Israel. Yeah? So allegedly, arms would go from Iran to Syria to Hezbollah. Yeah? So that's why they needed to take out Syria first before they could wage a war on Hezbollah in Iran. It's not a coincidence that as soon as Assad went, now they're at war with Hezbollah, now they're at war in Iran. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you heard the other day where Trump says Israel's doing a bad job at fighting Hezbollah.
Yes.
We should get our guy in Syria to do it. So these terrorist groups, you know, I did a video on African Stream, historically going through how, sorry for using this term, but it's just one that people understand. These radical Islamist groups have always been used to kill Pan-African projects or Pan-Arab projects. Yeah? So I started with the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt against Abdul Nasser. Yeah? I talked about the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group in Libya against Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh.
Yeah? I talked about the terrorist groups in the Sahel. Yeah? I talked about you know, I don't want to call him a Pan-Africanist, but President Jonathan Goodluck,
Jonathan, Nigerian.
Goodluck Jonathan, sorry. His whole presidency, which was, you know, making Nigeria one of the fastest growing economies in the world, the fastest growing economy in Africa. The whole project was torn apart by Boko Haram. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's always whenever there's a project that's happening,
that's positive to Africans.
Yeah. You will all of a sudden see these like Islamist groups prop out. If you saw, you know, you said the one that would be revolutionary leadership in Kenya. If there's revolutionary leadership in Kenya, all of a sudden you'll see the Islamic State of Nakuru popping up or something like that. Yeah, there'll be something. Yeah. So you know, these are like Frankenstein monsters that are always deployed whenever there needs to be a revolutionary process. Yeah.
But you know what? We can't give up. We can't give up. Final question: what do you think is going to happen? Because like, to me, every time I look at the news when it comes to Sahel terrorism, it seems like it's getting worse. It's getting worse. These guys are just fighting and fighting and fighting. Are they really gonna succeed in taking over Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso? Because I saw, you know, on sovereign media, on Mali,
They put a bounty.
Yeah, they have a bounty on
Assimi Goïta.
On Goïta. What the, like,
how did they get money for a bounty? A terrorist group in the desert, how did they get money for a bounty? Yeah, there's just so much indications that this is foreign backed.
This is foreign backed. So,
you know, the only way that the terrorist groups will win is if the people lose faith in their leadership. Yeah, and the imperialists are trying their best for the people to lose faith in their leadership. Yeah, they're giving us these fake Human Rights Watch reports.
Yeah,
they're trying to create ethnic divisions. The Fulani are being marginalized, not understanding that the Fulani hold key military positions in Burkina Faso. The Tuareg hold key military positions in the Mali army.
So they're trying to make it an ethnic
They're trying to make it
war.
an ethnic. They're trying to make, you know, Ibrahim Traoré has a lot of support from the progressive and leftist movements around the world. So what do? They hone in on this LGBTQ issue because they know in the West, in the left, that is one thing that they're, they'll use to no longer support. So they're trying every trick in the book. My suggestion for people, solidarity movements around the world, don't lose focus on why the imperialists hate him. Yeah? They hate him because of the nationalization of the mines. Yeah?
Chasing away the French troops.
Chasing away the French troops, making sure the foreign companies are kept under check. They don't act as if they're above the law. Yeah? The NGOs, he kicked out all these NGOs.
Oh, really?
Yeah? Remember I said earlier about the NGOs?
Yeah. I think that's what all presidents should do.
The law is applicable to everyone.
Yeah.
So if you commit traffic violations in Burkina Faso, they make you do like community service, pick up the litter. You see foreigners picking up the litter right next to Burkina Bay. But if you pass the speed limit, doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not. Yeah, in Kenya that doesn't work.
No,
the foreigners get treated completely different to how the Kenyans are. Yeah, to how the Kenyans are. I had a colleague who's was like, I have to leave the office, working with me at African Stream. So leave the office. My wife was in a car accident. I was like, she right? She was like, yeah, some woman from the UN hit her car. Yeah. So the next day I said to her, what happened? He goes, it's crazy. This white woman hit my wife's car. The white woman tried to get out of the car and was apologetic. The police officers said, get back in your car and just drive off. They say to my wife's friend, you have to pay. What do you mean I have to pay?
Pay what?
The car, they hit me in the side of the car.
Oh.
So clearly, I've got right of way. She's hit me here.
Yeah.
How can I have to pay? She's clearly, but she's got that UN number plate.
So what?
So there's nothing we can do.
Ugh.
Yeah, you have to pay. Sure.
And
so that's how foreigners are treated in most of the 55 countries, including Western Sahara. Yeah, that's how foreigners are treated above the African. In Burkina Faso, that's not how foreigners are treated.
It's not only that. Even government officials who have these motorcades, I'm telling you, the way they drive, 120, 140 kilometers per hour because they don't have to follow traffic rules. You know how many people who have been killed because of reckless driving of government officials? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Ahmed, we can talk the whole day. Thank you for coming. If I can give my last word, I like giving my last word first and then the guests to end the show. I want to say thank you for coming. Keep on doing what you're doing. And I'm happy that you are still continuing the good work on Sovereign Media.
Thank you.
And Ahmed, I always say, keep on doing what you're doing because you never know who's watching. You never know who gets inspired. Even the work I'm doing, I never know who I inspire until I meet them personally. They say, hey, somebody texted me the other day on IG saying you're the reason why I'm falling in love with Pan-Africanism. And I'm
beautiful.
Like, that is the biggest award you can ever give me. And so thank you. Thank you for coming, Ahmed. If you can look at this camera and give your last word, maybe a word of encouragement to Sudan and whatever you want to say as your last word. Yeah.
Sure. I'll just say, follow, support South Africa to Africans. You saw what happened to African Stream.
Yeah.
We need to support this brother and the good work that he's doing, financially, materially, in whatever way we can. So continue to support the good work and set up your own South Africa to Africans because we need more. That's it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you. Support South Africa, support Sovereign Media and Ahmed. I'll put the places where you can follow Ahmed. Thank you. Asante sana.